Connor, welcome to the ADHD Biography podcast.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Founder of Duke IT, based in Newark.
Yeah, yeah,
How's everything been going with the business so far this year?
yeah. So it's been going really well. We started trading in April, and since then we've been going from strength to strength. Next month we officially get our first employee, apart from me and my both partner in life and in the business. So yeah, it's gonna be. We're looking forward to the next chapter.
Wow, it sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've had a really quick growth as well in that period from
Yeah,
April. That's amazing.
yeah. We can't complain. Obviously, like so many other businesses and their owners, there's been ups and downs, but no, I'm happy with how we're going. So yeah, it's going good. It's going good.
That's great to hear, mate. So, just first of all, like ADHD, I know we spoke about it like recently at a networking event about neurodiversity. Where did that kind of first show up?
So I've had so it's quite a funny story, to be fair. I've always had dyslexia, and that's I got diagnosed with that quite young. Um, But it wasn't until one of my friends that work in like diagnosing children with like different neurodiversities. They sort of said to me, well, I can't remember how we started talking about it, and it was when like when I hate using this word, but the craze of ADHD sort of kicked off, and everyone was putting it all over social media about it's these are traits, and I was speaking with them, and I sort of went, I've got a lot of these traits. So it turned around and went, wait, you don't know? And I was like, don't know what? Connor, you've got ADHD kind of thing. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm fairly new to it, all things considered, but it's already sort of explained so much of like my life growing up, my life now and how I attack certain things. It sort of opened my eyes, so to speak, to see how it all makes sense, how my brain works, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the friend that said that, is that somebody that had known you a long time then and had obviously seen that in you and just in your behaviours, I'm guessing then?
Yeah, yes. Like we never really spoken about it because she just thought it was, it's me kind of thing. We talked in depth about it, and then I sort of went down the rabbit hole, so to speak, of everything.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that after sort of finding out. I know I did when I had a similar experience. I think I mentioned like when we were speaking at the business club, about someone that I work with said to me, "Oh, you've got ADHD," and I kind of polite on to F off. But
Yep, yep.
but what were you mentioned there about the traits and from the sort of craze went on with social media, and obviously there's a lot out there that is like some sort of like glorifying it in a way,
Yeah,
like it's such a great thing, which it has its perks,
yeah.
absolutely, but I think there's a glorification, like over
Oh, 100%.
glorification sometimes of it. But in the videos that you saw that describe the traits, what kind of traits was it that stuck out for you that then you realized in yourself?
The biggest one was sort of the sort of hyperfocus kind of thing. Also, the impulsivity of it. So,
Mm.
like, I when I've got something in my head, there's we're doing it. I don't know how we'll do it, and we can't just wait for this. We can't, we like I've got I'm focused on this and I'm working on this, and if you break my concentration, it's gone. Like I'm gonna have to go out the room, do something completely different for a bit to hype until I can hyper focus
Get
on that.
back in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's either like a now, it's either now or it's never?
Yeah, exactly. It's like daft things. Like I wanted to play. Obviously being in IT, I've got a quite high spec computer, and I wanted to play a game on it, but I couldn't play it because it's only available on Xbox. So instead of waiting and sort of seeing, how the reviews are, I was like, well, I want to play it. 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 And I was talking to my wife, and she was like, well, just hold off a minute. It's only just come out. It's like, yeah, but I thought I could play it, and now I can't play it. What am I going to do? So I ended up going to CEX just to buy a cheap Xbox so I could play this game, and hyper focused on that for ages. And then
And just that like impulsive buy as well, and
exactly,
just because you want something. It's so yeah, it's so frustrating, isn't it? When you kind of get those moments because it's always the things that you don't really need as well. I find
oh,
like it's not
100%.
life changing stuff. Like like you say, you could have waited, you could
Yeah,
have waited for the reviews, you could have waited to see if they put it on the Game Pass or whatever,
exactly. And it's on the
but
Game
no.
Pass now. That's even more frustrating because I was on last night playing a different game, and I saw it on the Game Pass. I was like, I should have just waited. Like, I would have had the same amount of enjoyment out of it if I waited, but I didn't. It's one of them. So
Yeah, and you mentioned about having a obviously high spec PC, which
yeah,
is understandable given your industry. Does that having a high spec PC obviously helps with things like multitasking?
yeah.
Now with ADHD, I mean, I'd like to know how many tabs have you got open right now? Because
So
I think we should do a little competition.
I'm not gonna lie. This it's the first time in about so I'm in the office at the moment. It's the first time on Friday I turned it off, and so I've got no tabs open, but I counted 30 tabs in one window, and I had three different browsers open with probably the same amount. So it's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah. And the annoying thing is when I've got so many, I mean, I've got like 10 open now, to be honest,
Mm,
but when I look at them, I'm like, I'm not gonna close that one because 'cause I'll need that for later when I go back
yep,
to it, because you're constantly finding that you switch in between
yep.
tabs as much as you do, like, daily tasks and stuff.
And that's the thing is, it's even funnier because like I quite often say to my clients like, close some tabs because it's going to speed up your computer. And they're like, well, you've got loads of tabs. I was like, it's a case of do what I say, not as I do. Uh, kind of situation. I'll ping from one job to another and be like, oh, I need to remember to do that. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. I have like three different systems that I put in place to make sure that I remember to do each thing. Because if I don't, I'm buggered.
Yeah, yeah, and I can imagine running your own business from April, and it's grown quite rapidly as well. Like, how have you dealt with having to kind of cope with that constantly changing tasks and
Mm,
trying to stay on track? You said about systems,
yeah.
but what do those systems look like that you've put in place to help? And do they just help for your business, or do they help in your personal life outside of it as well?
But so I am a fiend for a calendar. Like I will like my life is on a calendar because if it's not in the calendar, I ain't remembering it, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I've even linked my calendar with my wife, so then she can put tasks on for me to do because if it's not on there, like it ain't getting done. Even like so I will forget it's my birthday and they'll be like, oh, it's my birthday today, kind of thing, because it's on there. And it's the same with the business. Like I have, if I'm out and about, a task will get put on my calendar to do when I get back. I also have obviously a ticket system for my clients. I also use Microsoft To Do that links with my emails. So even if I forget to put it in, my automatic reaction is to flag an email. It imports into Microsoft To Do. So then when I come back to the office, I look at Microsoft To Do. I'm like, yes, let's pencil this in. Because if not, I'm away doing about a million other different things. And I think that's also a superpower as well for ADHD. It's a nightmare, but it's also brilliant because like sometimes you have to be adapting. You have to go from this to this to this to this to this to this. And if we can't do that, certain things aren't going to work. Especially at the moment, I'm the managing director of the business. So I have to wear so many hats. One minute I could be speaking to the accountant about something. The next thing I'm fixing someone else's computers. And like some people can't like switch. And
Just
I think that
switching between those like different zones. Yeah.
exactly. And that's one of the beautiful things with ADHD is we can, even when we don't want to. We have the ability to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because when I speaking about like the colleague that I worked with at the time that said I've got ADHD, and one thing I noticed and I fit really well into that role because of how the business was operating at that time as well is because you had to be in like three different places
Yeah.
almost at the same time and just flick so effortlessly between it could be like getting an item for a customer to then having to do a rota or do a sickness meeting or and then to be serving customers or helping with an issue or then doing health and safety bits or whatever. But there was so much variety and
Yeah.
constant sort of change that it was really easy to just to switch and just do that different thing. But at the same time, it's like trying to if I had to stay in one of those areas for too long, like I'd
Yeah.
just get fidgety and restless.
Yep.
And is that something that you find as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. It's like I'm playing with this pen now. I purposely got a pen with a fidget toy on it. See? 'Cause it helps me to focus. It's weird because people think that Connor, you're not focusing because you're fidgeting. No, because I'm fidgeting, I'm able to focus on the thing at hand because if not, I'll be looking at just something random in the corner, and I will be away. So if my body is doing things, I'm able to focus on the task at hand a little bit better. There's a study saying that ADHD is brilliant in crisis situations because they are able to, right, do that, then go and do that, then go in that. We may not be able to manage our own lives for toffee, but in them situations, because we're so adaptable, we're able
Like,
to
think
do them.
quite quick on our feet, aren't we? And
Exactly, yeah.
especially when you have to firefight and multiple different issues, it's good in that
Mm.
respect. But it's almost like when the pressure's then off and it's not an emergency
Yep.
situation, everything's just back to normal.
Yep.
But yeah, I can imagine like running the business is a whole nother level with that as well. Obviously, your wife works with you, doesn't she, in your
Yeah.
business?
Yes.
How does she find it and find your ways of working?
So I'm sure if you was to ask her, it's took like even in our personal life, it's took some getting used to. We've been together 10 years this year, and I'm sure there's been some speed bumps, and I'm sure there's been some things, but she's brilliant. She's able to sort of go when I'm having them days that everything's overwhelming. She's able to go, right, take a chill, let's focus, let's do these things, let's sort these things out, and she's able to like sort of take the pressure away from me with certain things. That's God sent kind of thing for them days. We laughed because when we moved into the house that we moved into, we had like a corner unit for a TV. And she just happened to say to me, "Wouldn't that be really good on the wall?" Thinking, when we're decorating. And that was it. I was like, "Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that." And then went out, and she was like, "Right, let's just come on. Let's just let Connor do his thing." Because, and I went to Curry's, brought the bracket, put it on the wall. It's just like, right, I've done that now, because it was that hyper focus, that impulsivity that we talked about.
Yeah, especially when you get an idea as well and just
Yeah,
running with it, which is in fact what happened when I had the idea of the podcast is literally over a couple of days I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something, and I was like, I'm going to do a podcast, and
yep,
then before I knew it, I'd done a logo, I'd done an intro, I'd emailed or like messaged like
yeah,
20 odd people about coming on, and it was you just lose track of time
yeah,
as well, don't you, so easily.
yeah. It's hilarious because as soon as you get something in your head, whether it be gaming or doing something, or doing something for work, sometimes when you are hyper focused on it, you concept of time goes out the window.
And just going back to like your wife being in a business and having somebody that is or like understands
Mm.
how your brain operates and understands like, how neurodiversity shows up and how it can impact things like the working day. How important do you think that is, like within businesses, having somebody that understands how that shows up?
Oh, I think it's every business needs to be, I'm going to use the word trained in the art of neurodiversity, because we are such an asset to a business if they give us the time to shine and they take our quirks into consideration, because we all have our individual quirks. No, not neurodiversity is the same, but understanding it and sort of recognizing it and going, Connor's doing that because of this, is not because he's being, I'm not gonna swear, but one of them kind of thing.
No, by all means,
Yeah.
like drop the F bomb or
Yeah.
whatever. It's all right.
Um, but like, it's understanding our quirks and using us to our advantage rather than thinking it's going to be a pain for them. Because I irritate myself, but within businesses, if you were able to understand us and talk to us and sort of sit down with us and go, how can we help you? To give you, because at the end of the day, you're employing me. If I'm working in a business and I'm getting it, I'm employed. I'm here to work. So if you can help me work, you're gonna get better productivity of me, rather than if you just put me in a corner and let me do my own thing.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing that when you say that, it takes me back to a few different conversations I've had with people that have there's been quite a mix of people that work in businesses where they will make those reasonable adjustments, and
Yeah.
then also ones then that don't want to as well, and that seem like reluctant, as if it's almost like special treatment in a way, when really you're not asking for anything that's like extraordinary and that
No.
special treatment. It's just things to help you do your job. Like you say,
Yeah.
you come into work because you want to do your job, but then it's if you haven't got the right tools, then you wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm sure, like obviously working with IT, you understand all about like needing the right tools.
Yeah.
for everything.
And that's the thing is, if you're able to sort of, I would say to anybody, if you're a manager or a director of your business, don't segregate them and sort of go to them, right, you're different. I'm gonna like give you special treatment, but understand them, learn to work with them because the business is a team. As sad as it sounds, you're probably with your team, whether it be your employees, your managers, your boss, your team members, more than you are with your family. So you need to gel and you need to work together. So if you're able to help each other better by just understanding how someone works with neurodiversity, it's going to make everybody's life that little bit easier.
Absolutely. And you talked about being like overwhelmed and things like that. How do you obviously your wife helps kind of, I guess, sort of bring you back to the moment and ground you a little bit. But how do you support customers with their IT in crisis moments without sort of burning yourself out?
That's a difficult one because, so if we take just in like business kind of thing, I'm very different with my emotions in business than I am at home. So, like when I'm with a business and something's gone wrong or someone's done something and it's broken something, I'm able to adapt and read the room and sort of go, let's assess the situation. It's almost like I'm hyper focusing on the situation with the break broke and not worried about getting like tense and overwhelmed. I probably go back to my car after and go, oh God, well, like sort of decompress.
Decompress a bit, yeah.
Yeah. But like in the moment, it's almost like I have to switch on the hyper focus of right, this problem's here. Let's just sort this problem out and let's deal with it. And sometimes it might be I've got a client who's really angry because their computer's not working, and it's a case of sorting that. It's almost like going, yeah, don't worry, let me sort it. Or if someone's turned something off that they shouldn't have, and potentially cause loads of
I can
problems.
imagine that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does happen a lot, and it's same kind of thing with everything, But it's a case of you have to use your superpower here, and so right, let's fix the issue and try and switch off the noise of everything else, and that's dead hard. With anybody with ADHD, it is. We will pick up the minute details kind of thing, but yeah, and then I'm able to sort of fix that, and then go out way and go ah afterwards in the comfort of my own office.
And with being so adaptable as well in your business, do you feel like that has given you a bit of an edge from when you've started your business? Obviously,
Yeah.
you've grown it so quick as well. Have you found that how quick you adapt to situations and deal with crises as well and things like that? Do you feel like that's impacted the business's growth in a positive way?
You've always got to adapt to everything within business, from like a seasoned director with like 30 years experience to me, not even a year old company. We've got to adapt, but I think it has sort of enabled us to sort of go, right, okay, we can see what the problems are. Let's like, even not just with like someone's turned the computer off, with the market and things like that, and be able to sort of fit into that niche kind of mode where, you know, we're able to sort of pinpoint where the problems are because people don't. I always say to people, we're not your typical IT company. We're your local friendly nerds. We don't like jargon because it does my head in when I go to like a mechanic's yard and they're like, "Do this, and this." And I'm like, "Mate, I don't know what you're on about. Speaking
Yeah.
English." And
Talk my
that's
language.
yeah, and I think that's how we're able to weave in the market, so to speak, and fit in and be able to grow as fast as we have, and hopefully we carry on doing so.
And what's been your biggest learning so far from running your own business?
It's probably well, every day's a school day, and it will always be for the rest of my life. I love learning about
Mm.
anything, but it's probably at the same time thinking that I am not a superhero, as daft as that sounds. I have to delegate jobs. That's why we're hiring. I can't do everything as much as I want to because I know that it's my fault if I mess up. But if someone else messes up, it's their fault, and I get the blame of it. So I may as well try and do it myself and be in all these different places at once. And I can see that if I carry on, I'll be burnt out. We're able to sort of my learning, even to this day, is letting go of things because it's mine. I want it, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners sort of get that feeling as well when you've created something
Yeah,
yourself that you do kind of go through that period of struggling to let go.
yeah.
What have you been doing to kind of like help with being able to let go now you're in that period where you're starting to recruit and things like that? Is there any practical tips or anything that maybe anybody that started is on a similar journey and is now hiring as well? Is there any tips you can give to people that to help them let go as well?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't be scared. 'Cause, like, uh, you know, we like it was always scary. Like, it was scary when I set up myself, went by myself, because I was thinking, shit, how am I going to pay myself? Uh, and it's scary again. Bringing someone in that's sort of that I'm going to give over some work to, and I have to trust that they are going to do the best of their ability to do it. Everybody messes up, and we're still alive, we're still kicking. Yes, someone might have cocked something up, but everybody learns. So don't be scared. Just carry on. Every day is a new day, isn't it? So
Yeah, I suppose like you said before, every day's a school day, isn't it? So
yeah,
if you're learning every day, then I suppose that's something that a message or culture you may be setting out with your team as well, by the sounds of it.
100%. I said, in the interviews when I did them, I was like, listen, we're all learning. We're always learning. If there's something you want to learn, you come to us and you say, Connor, I want to learn this, and I think it will help the business because of this. We're not all knowing. No one's all knowing. So if I can keep learning, keep adapting, I'm able to keep growing. So, and also it helps it because I can hyper focus on something. If I want to learn something, I can. Right, I'm learning this kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I won't stop until I do.
So you know all everything about it, yeah.
Yeah,
And what was the moment that you decided to start your own business? What really like sparked that for you?
it's always been my dream to own a business, and I had the very fortunate position of with a previous employment to grow throughout the ranks, learn. I started off as an apprentice, through sort of became a boss, like a manager of the business, and I was just like, right, I think I want to do it myself. I want to have the baby business, and I want to see it flourish, kind of thing. So I just thought, it's my time. It's my time to try it and see how it works. And if I fail, I failed, but I'm not. It means that when I'm 90 or however old I am, and I'm able to look back on my life and think, I don't regret that. It may have failed, that hopefully it won't, touch wood, but at least I tried it. You only live once, so we may as well give it a go and see what's the worst that happens.
And I think that's a fantastic mindset to adopt as well, isn't it? I think people sometimes are so scared of taking that leap because they don't want to fail. But
Yeah,
if you kind of reframe it, I guess as like it's a learning experience
yeah,
rather than a failing, because
100%. Everything's a
if
learning experience.
yeah, absolutely. And if it's something you can learn on and to not make those same mistakes again, I guess then
Exactly.
it's yeah, even better. But yeah, it's amazing
Everybody
that you
has everybody has failures. Even like Richard Branson, Steve Jobs when he was alive. Bill Gates. They'll all have failures. But they've learned from it. The fools are the people who keep making mistakes time and time again. That, in my eyes.
yeah, and they've certainly been adaptable in their time, haven't they? So
Yeah,
I think that's a really key aspect to how business growing, and you're proving that with your quick growth as well.
appreciate that.
What's the what is the most like misunderstood thing about the IT industry, do you think?
Have you ever watched IT Crowd?
Yes, yeah.
We're all like moss. We are all people. IT sector. When we are nerdy, we are geeks. But we're people. We aren't all basement dwellers sitting in the basement, not liking the sun. People. We like speaking to people. Some people more than others, but that's like life in general, isn't it? So we're all people.
So the IT crowd definitely wasn't anything like your office then.
Oh no, the IT crowd is very, very relevant, but
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of customers that I have such a good rapport with now. I do the famous "Have you turned it off and on again?" Like, "Hello IT, have you turned it off and on again?" Because it does work. Like, it is dead relatable, but it is also, we're not all moss. There are some, like in every industry, but we're not all like that.
And what's the biggest thing that's like happening within the industry at the moment? Obviously, there's a lot of talking. Well, every industry it seems
Mm,
of AI.
yeah.
So what's your kind of take on it? And is that the biggest thing that's going on right now?
AI will be, it's brilliant. And, people are worried about it. People think it's going to be Skynet kind of thing. It's not. It's incredibly intelligent, but it's still very flawed. But it is becoming. It's been there for years. AI's been there for years, but it's sort of become more and more apparent. It is going to carry on growing. It's going to carry on getting, adaptable. It's like it's just the way the world's adapting, kind of thing. And it will be at the forefront of everything for a bit. Everything will try and get AI into it. And some things definitely needs the AI. I use AI on a daily basis to help from anything from helping me rewrite quotes to I sometimes have conversations with it like it's a normal person. It's really sad kind of thing, but like it's a tool to be used and we need to use it, but we don't need to abuse it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I can definitely relate to like talking as a person because I'm like every day and like every little idea as well.
Yeah,
The one thing I really enjoy is that if you've got a question where you don't quite 100% know something, there's just one little thing I don't know, and you can just go on and ask it a question anytime. Forget
exactly.
like consultants and stuff like
Mm,
that where you got waiting and to book a time in and ask them in their working hours
yeah.
and all that.
Uh,
Just
and that's the thing is, I think with AI, it is brilliant, and I ask it questions, but I understand. So, say like with coding, for like programming or website coding, if I need to help someone, with their server or something like that, and I don't know what this error means, kind of thing, I will put it into AI and go, "What's this meaning?" But I understand what it's saying back. You see some people that are bringing AI, web developers or web like app programmers, and they're like, yeah, we can do you an app. They're cheap. And they just put it into AI, spit out all the code, make it go live, and then they have no idea what it actually means. It's a case of AI is still flawed because it is only it is only like a computer program running code, data off the internet. So if you don't fully understand what it's saying, then don't use it, if that makes sense.
And how do you think businesses or, well, yeah, individuals, I suppose, and businesses can use it better in, well, to help businesses or individually, like you say, you talk to it every day.
Mm.
How best can it, like, how has it helped you?
There's brilliant things. So, like, say with Teams calls, there's a programs that you can use that comes in. You links it to your Microsoft account, for argument's sake, and then what that does is when you're in a Teams call, it basically takes notes, and then after the call, it will send you notes. So, like, say if I'm having a meeting with a client, I might turn it on, kind of thing. It spits out all these notes. So I'm thinking of all the ideas to ask, it's writing it down, and then I might have to jump on something else, come back, and I'm like, right, I've squiggled notes, but I can't read my writing because I was writing it down so fast. And I look at these notes, and I'm like, oh, right, okay. And it's like Copilot for Microsoft with the Business Suite, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's able to convert, scan your whole OneDrive and SharePoint, and be able to pull out stuff that you like. Give me a summary of my last email from between John and me, and it goes, spits out any key dates that you've had, any meetings you've had, any documentation that you've wrote afterwards, and it's able to help you. It's a tool to be used, so you may as well take full advantage of it.
And do you feel like that helps you in terms of like your ADHD traits as well, helping some of the downsides and to maybe like bounce things off
Yeah,
or
yeah. I may want to write a blog post for my website, and I'm able to go help me out with this, and it's able to do that while I'm doing something else, and then I can read it and go, yeah, that makes sense, and push it on. It's able to help, kind of thing. Yeah, it's a good tool.